Let me share with you a not so fictional story about a trip I took from one side of Middlesex Drive to the other. When I was told I was weird, I never knew it meant supernatural. I walked away from the sirens, screeching crows, and loud mufflers with the bass booming of ignorant cars with tinted windows. I just wanted to see how long this road was and where it led. My curiosity and need for escape urged me forward. And so, with a slight tug from the setting sun, my vision fixed on the heart of suburbia. What a dimensional shift! Adorably painted mailboxes, individualized with little angels and metal birds, and perfectly manicured lawns and three-car garages. There were children playing outside, giggling and riding their bikes. It was like walking onto a movie set. I took a moment to stop and survey the sky, the pink and blue clouds on the horizon. They just felt less threatening than the polluted skyscape I had become so familiar. As I ventured deeper, the air began to grow thick with an eerie stillness, shadows dancing unnaturally, twisting into fractal patterns that seemed to pulse with a life of their own. Those perfectly manicured lawns began to shimmer, revealing hidden pathways that seemed to be lined with whispered secrets in a language I couldn't understand. The children's laughter echoed, and it felt like it was coming from some distant, forgotten dream. The sky above shifted those pink and blue clouds and morphed them into surreal shapes that hinted at otherworldly beings watching from beyond. I walked further into the neighborhood, and the houses seemed to grow larger, more grandiose, their facades almost too perfect, like eerie, lifeless dolls. The air pressing down on me now with a tangible weight. Whispers began floating through the air, disembodied and elusive, as if the very wind carried secrets from another realm. And the trees seemed to be watching me, their branches twisting and contorting like skeletal fingers reaching out with a malevolent intent. A chill ran down my spine, but an unforeseen force compelled me forward. I couldn't turn back now. I had to see where this road led, even if it meant stepping into the unknown. But then I felt a shift. Wait, I need to get moving. The sun is setting. My pace quickened and my paranoia grew. It felt as if everyone was watching me. I threw off my hoodie, attempting to blend in. Keeping my head down, I focused on the task. They might be watching, peeking through their blinds or their hidden cameras. Perhaps they were calling each other, reporting a maroon jogging suit on the loose. I reminded myself to breathe and blend in. I was just there as a scientist. I was surveying the land. The shadows began to lengthen, creeping across the manicured lawns like dark tendrils, and the children's laughter, it took on a sinister edge, echoing unnaturally in the still air. The houses seemed to loom larger, their windows like empty eyes following my every move. I could almost feel the weight of their gaze, a collective consciousness probing my intentions. The whispers growing louder, more insistent, as if the very fabric of this place was alive and aware of my presence. I pressed on, driven by my need to uncover the secrets hidden within this surreal suburban facade. If I was swift, I could go unnoticed and snatch a sample. My eyes were set on a weeping willow in the distance, its branches swaying like ghostly tendrils. I kept a quick pace, hoping the spectators wouldn't be alarmed. I hoped they wouldn't see me as the spy I truly was. I spotted an older gentleman across the way walking his dog, but he was looking down at his cell phone. He didn't notice. So, seizing the moment, I grasped a few leaves from a low-hanging branch and kept moving, clenching the willow branch in my fist. My heart pounded as I looked around to see if anyone was watching. I did a quick U-turn and began to head, my mind racing with thoughts of being called out or caught. An alien imposter sent to prison for my misdeed of harming the tree. I broke into a gentle jog now, the willow leaves fumbling and falling from my palm. My heart flooded with remorse. The air grew colder and the whispers around me began to intensify as if the very trees were mourning the loss of their kin. The houses seemed to close in, their windows like dark, accusing eyes. I pressed on, driven by a need to escape this oppressive atmosphere, but the weight of my actions hung heavy on my soul. My heart was beating fast, and I looked around to see if I was being followed. No, no, no one was watching. What? They were probably sitting down at dinner, saying their prayers. Quickly now, I began to return to my unsafe homestead. And as I was walking by, I glimpsed a logo on the side of a car saying limited, and I huffed at the accusation that anyone could possibly be limited here in this pristine neighborhood. Looking at all these beautiful homes, I searched my soul and memory bank for any possibility that I might have taken a wrong turn. Had I failed some huge test and not noticed? Dusk was quickening and my eyes were feeling dizzy. A surprising surge of emotion began to well inside of me. A street can have the same name, and from one end to the next be night and day. My sorrow clenched and turned to contempt. Of course not. I hadn't done anything wrong. I had never had this chance. This was only dangled. This was never possible for me. The shadows deepened and the air grew cold, wrapping around me like a shroud. The whispers returned more insistent and accusatory, as if the very neighborhood was judging me. The houses, once grand and inviting, now looming ominously, their windows dark and foreboding. My breath came in raged gasps as I struggled to maintain my composure. The ground beneath my feet felt unstable, as if the very earth was rejecting my presence. I pressed on, driven by my need to escape this oppressive place, but the weight of my emotions hung heavy on my soul. Porch lights began flickering and humming, casting eerie shadows that danced across the pavement. It was getting harder to see my feet, and I felt unsteady as my eyes adjusted to the new lighting. The luminescence of the streetlights felt like spotlights, showcasing my crime. I pushed the leaves into my pocket and began to sprint. I felt seen and raw in an excruciating way, like my skin had been removed and I was echoing through the streets as bone and light. I tried to conceal. Thank you so much for taking a look and a listen to part 1 of a story I've been creating. If you have any thoughts, ideas, or want to collaborate perhaps, please do reach out to me. I am going to attach the link below. Thanks.